gracefully. In her early Hollywood years, Kim appeared in TV shows and small roles in series. Though her parts were minor, her presence caught the attention of directors. Then came the big break, landing the role of a Bond girl in Never Say Never Again opposite Sean Connery. The film launched Kim onto the international stage, and from that point on she was typecast as the alluring, dangerous, unpredictable woman. After The Natural, Kim accepted the lead role in 9.5 Weeks, a film that divided critics but mesmerized audiences. What few know is that filming was a deeply emotional and even painful experience for her. The physically intense and psychologically brutal scenes pushed Kim to blur the line between acting and reality. She once left the set in tears and nearly quit acting altogether after that movie, even though it made her the ultimate sex symbol of the 1,980 seconds. In 1989, Kim starred as Vicky Vale in Batman, the idealized woman in Gotham's shadowy world. But what most people don't know is that Kim fought to rewrite parts of the script, including the ending, to give her character more depth. She refused to be just a beautiful accessory on screen. Kim wanted control of her roles and of her life, but fame always comes with a price. When she backed out of a leading role after signing the contract, Kim was sued and forced to pay nearly $9 million in damages. The financial blow sent her into a downward spiral. She withdrew from Hollywood and went into seclusion for a time. The media branded her a fallen star, ruined by her pride. But Kim remained silent. Then in 1997, like a miracle, she returned in L.A. Confidential, a performance that was sharp, haunting, and icy. Kim portrayed a high-class escort with spotlight with her regal poise in Batman and making a spectacular comeback in L.A. Confidential, Kim Basinger became a woman with a passionate, deeply yearning, and at times chaotic sex life. In 1993, Kim married Alec Baldwin, the picture-perfect gentleman in real life. They were one of Hollywood's power couples, fame, fortune, and appearances straight out of a fairy tale. But behind the glitz were long nights of arguments, silence, and emotional distance. Journalists once described Alec as someone obsessed with control, sometimes emotionally aggressive, while Kim often retreated inward, guarding her emotional world like a fortress. According to Kim herself, they connected more through reason than instinct. While Alec sought control and reassurance, Kim longed to let go, to lose control as a way of emotional release. It was a silent conflict that simmered for years. Kim never hid her bold preferences. She once admitted to being drawn to experiences that were secretive and controlling scenarios where the man held absolute power while she surrendered to the thrill of losing herself. It wasn't just about conventional intimacy. She wanted to explore role play, the feeling of being dominated, much like the dynamics in 50 Shades of Grey. Close sources revealed that Kim had participated in private, high-boundary intimacy sessions where soft restraints, whispered commands, and commanding gazes were part of the experience. For her, it wasn't merely about arousal. When Kim embraced singlehood as a liberated woman, several men she dated appeared in the tabloids, but more intriguing was the rumor of her relationship with an unnamed female artist. Whispers suggested a period of emotional intimacy and possibly an exploration of Kim's bisexual inclinations. It's said that she kept a private journal documenting these high-boundary erotic experiences where darkness, candlelight, and raw passion blended into a memory filled with scent and flame. What stood out most was Kim's own admission. She found it hard to stay true to her natural desires when she knew she was being watched. "I want to forget I'm a Hollywood star," she once said. In other words, when she lived by instinct, Kim shed her title, her roles, and every externally crafted identity. This inner conflict turned her private life into a richly colored painting, at times fierce, at others tender. sometimes craving control, and other times longing for the wild, untamed spirit within her. These emotional explorations weren't just physical games. They made Kim stronger and deeper as an actress. She turned that chaos into a form of inner art, reflected in the sorrowful eyes and wistful smile she wore in L.A. Confidential. Critics once remarked that it was this very inner imbalance that made her performances haunting and unforgettable, more so than any breathtaking scene on screen. Although she was a beauty icon who once made Hollywood swoon, Kim Basinger was never just about shining in front of the camera. She was a woman who knew how to build deep emotional connections with the people she worked with, sometimes as collaborators, sometimes as soulmates, and often as the center of stormy rumors about love affairs. From her earliest days on set, Kim understood one truth: to truly act with depth, you must trust the person standing across from you. With Mickey Rourke, her co-star in the iconic film 9½ Weeks, their relationship was uniquely strange. They weren't close in real life, didn't chat over coffee between takes, but when the lights came on, they looked at each other as if they'd lived a lifetime together. The scenes were raw, sensual, and at times painful, forcing them both to dive into an intense state of character immersion. People speculated they had real feelings, but Kim once said, "We understood each other on screen. In real life, we each chose to keep enough distance to avoid getting hurt." On another level, Kim found softness and sincerity in the women she worked with. One of them was Elaine, a television host who once quietly took Kim's hand after a long, exhausting shoot and whispered, "Don't let Allura overshadow the real you." It was moments like that, small gestures from ordinary colleagues, that touched Kim's heart more deeply than any Oscar speech ever could. Kim's story didn't stop at professional camaraderie. She was once entangled in romantic rumors with several big names in the entertainment world. One of the most talked about was the musical genius Prince, who composed music for her and was said to have shared a uniquely colorful relationship with her. No one ever confirmed it, and no one ever denied it either. But the exchanged glances and unexpected backstage appearances were more than enough to keep the public buzzing for quite some time. Another name that stirred plenty of gossip was Jon Peters, the powerful producer. Stories swirled that Jon was infatuated with Kim to the point where he boasted about winning her heart, but Kim always remained silent. To her, if a relationship isn't significant enough to speak about, it's not worth explaining at all. Yet, the relationship that left the deepest imprint on her life was with none other than Alec Baldwin. They fell in love on set, married in real life, and weathered the highs and lows of their careers together. But the marriage eventually fell apart, buried under arguments, lawsuits, and the helplessness of two people who could no longer understand each other. Kim once said, "There's no hatred. We're just two people who no longer speak the same language." Even after the breakup, they maintained a respectful connection to co-parent their only daughter, a sign that there was once genuine love. After all that, Kim Basinger found peace with a man who wasn't famous, who didn't need the spotlight, a hairstylist named Mitch Stone. No more lavish parties, no more magazine photo shoots. Just Kim, Mitch, a cozy home, and soft music in the mornings. People call it ordinary happiness, but for Kim, it's the peace I spent a lifetime gathering the courage to choose. And that is Kim Basinger, not just a symbol of beauty, but of depth, resilience, and raw emotion. Which chapter of her life impressed you the most? Leave a comment below and don't forget to hit follow so you won't miss the real-life stories that are more gripping than any